So the streets are talking, Victor.
Hey,
Get him, daddy.
don't you walk on me.
I was wondering, what part of Florida are you in?
I live in Miami half the year, and I live in Colorado half the year in the Keys.
Oh, cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
What half is where?
The winter time, I'm in Miami, and then the spring, summer, I'm in the Keys usually.
Okay, cool. So I guess you're in Alamorada now, huh?
Yeah, I just got back from a day in the Everglades.
Nice. How was that? How'd you do?
It was really good.
Yeah.
I got the monkey off my back.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's this fish. It's been just taunting the shit out of me for years. And I finally caught the little bastard on a fly rod, and it feels so good to catch a stupid black drum.
A black drum?
Yeah. You
Nice.
catch a million redfish, catch a million snook, catch all the tarpon. And the sheephead and the black drum are just like unicorns. They just look at your fly and run away every time.
Uh-huh.
And I would honestly say we probably had 300 to 500 shots at them today, and I got one of them to eat. And I was like,
wow.
Yes. And this has been like a 4-year quest.
Wow.
And I finally caught one today.
Congratulations, man. Holy shit.
Like 3 pounds, a little turd, but I finally got one.
Got him.
When places that have them in real dirty water and they're real big, they have a bigger mouth and they're just much easier. But in crystal clear water, they're really crazy spooky, and they just don't eat feathers well.
Hey, listeners. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Brooklyn Fishing Club podcast. If you enjoy the show and want to rep your favorite show in style, check out our official merch shop. We've got everything from cozy hoodies to sleek jackets, graphic tees, and even backpacks perfect for your daily grind. Whether you're binging episodes or just want to elevate your streetwear game, our gear is made for comfort, style, and showing love for the BFC podcast. Plus, our gear is now shipping worldwide. Head over to brooklynfishingclub.com and grab your favorite one today. Thanks for supporting the show and looking great while doing it. What set you off on this quest for that fish specifically?
Just my ego that nothing escapes, and this thing has been pissing me off forever. I finally had to conquer it. I mean, I was joking with my buddy that was with me today. I was like, dude, I've caught the biggest swordfish in the world on a fly rod, basically, and conquered a sword on fly. Like, I'm the 5th angler in the world to ever do that in the Atlantic, and I cannot catch a stupid black drum in clear water.
Yeah. Wow.
And dirty water is different. On bait is different, but it's like sheephead and black drum are so hard. And the smaller they are, the smaller their mouth, the harder they are to catch.
So you've got the sheephead on the fly too?
Yeah, not today, but yeah, I've got that. We did tarpon in the morning. We had a bunch of tarpon action on fly. And then we did reds, and then we tried black drum, went back and did reds, and we did snook. And then we went to black drum, and then we went to the giant tarpon on fly, and then back to black drum in an area, and then came home.
That sounds like a fucking awesome day.
Yeah. So my buddy was with me.
Awesome.
We're building a new boat that we're kind of sitting down and just working out here right now he's taking a deposit check from me, and he's fishing me today. And he used to own Mitzi skiffs, Mitzi flats boats, Tom Mitzlaff. And he said that today was the best day he's had in at least 10 to 15 years. Because we had, every spot, we were just covered in fish, tons of shots. Weather was perfect. Everything was just awesome. And then finally capped it off with the stupid unicorn black drum.
There you go. Wow.
Just playing in the mud back there in the park.
What a day. Holy
shit.
So do you fly fish exclusively, or do you do some spinning?
No, I do tons of bait fishing. Tons of bait. I do everything from like bass charters to blue marlin to bluefin tuna, whatever.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Whatever they pay me to do, I do.
Let's talk a little bit about that swordfish on the fly. How'd you make that happen?
So basically, most of the credit goes to my buddy Andy. Andy is he worked for Roy, who was the chairman of the IGFA for the last, I think he still is, and he worked for Roy for like 5 years. And Roy's been hard after it, doing the nighttime trolling stuff. So when Andy quit working for Roy, and I told Andy I want to still go start trying to catch one on fly, he goes, "I'll come with you," because he wants to get one on fly because as a captain and as a mate, he never got a shot. And he is ate up with it real bad. So we teamed up and started fishing on my center console and going out at night and pulling teaser spreads. And through his previous years of fishing with Roy, they had already done a lot of homework and legwork to help my learning curve. And I wanted to try to see if I could implement that in the business because there's no charter services that can offer swords on fly, IGFA, fishing. And the first trip we hooked one, we teased one in, hooked it on fly, and um, Andy was on the rod and he pulled the hook. And then the next two trips, we didn't get a bite. The next trip, we teased in a shark. And then we teased in another one that didn't take the fly. My pastor from my church. And then this year, the first trip we did this year, we went out and we fished for like 30 minutes and we did a coin toss and I won. And I was like, all right, I'll go first hour, you go second hour, because I felt bad because he's just so ate up with it. And I got a shot, teased in the fish. He teased it in. I threw the fly, it ate it, and I stuck him. And I got the leader on him at 53 minutes. And the fish sounded back to the bottom 3 times in 1,200 feet of water with the Gulf Stream current, dumped me all the way down to nothing. And fought him for 3.5 hours. Got the release, IGFA video leader through the rod tip. And it was like 250. And the world record's 59 pounds. And I'm looking at this thing and I was like, oh, Jesus, this thing's, I wanted like a 30 pounder. And I got this giant, stupid thing that kicked the living hell out of me.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So it was very angry and it just kept sounding back to the bottom and beating the shit out of me. I spent over 3.5 hours on the rod, got the leader on it 3 separate times. And I told him, hey, if we kill it for a gaff show, I'm not going to register it for record because if I set the bar that high and the record's 59 and I kill a fish over 200 pounds, it's going to make clients not want to try to go after it because it's such a high feat now.
Yeah.
And so we got the fish on a leader again and he got tail wrapped and he sounded down on me and I just put a lot of heat on him. We broke him off for 3.5 hours. I would have killed it just to weigh it. It was all done IGFA legal. We did it on video, but I didn't want to set the bar so that somebody else wanting to try to achieve their first sword on fly and get a shot at a record would be competing against me, the guy that they're trying to pay to do it. But
Right.
I learned so much. It's like they say you can't be a good owner of a restaurant until you work every position in the kitchen. And it's such a unique fish to catch. And because it was sound to the bottom in 1,200 feet of water on a fly rod 3 times,
Yeah.
I had to learn certain techniques that are so abnormal to withstand the fight and things. So it gave me great insight into helping other anglers achieve their goals and how to fight them properly.
Can you go into more detail about what insight it provided you and how, and like different things that you
The
had to do
first
to
thing
land that?
is you have to take those grip devices and when a client called me and he wants to go and I was like, all right, you got to drink like at least 3 gallons of water a day and buy one of those grip strengthening tools and just work your wrist and grip out for at least 3 weeks prior to the trip.
Wow.
Because I couldn't open a bottle of water when I was done. And I was so cramped. I was just so crushed. It's such an awkward thing to fight a fly rod. And I had 10 pounds of drag on this fish, 6 pounds at the reel. and 4 pounds in my hand pretty much the whole time, and 10 pounds of drag on a fly rod, the ridiculously high amount on 20 tippet. And this fish was just a dominant, force that it took almost 3 hours for the first time that I could feel the fish stop swimming forward where I could slide it backwards a little bit and before it pull forward again. Like its first 1% of weakness took 3 hours to show. It was really a beautiful, just brutal animal. And, the grip strength and the hydration. And I came up with a technique of fighting the fish sitting down on the bow that changed everything for the fight. And anytime I try to fish any traditional methods, none of them work because it was such a vertical battle that, it's just so awkward. And then you got, 3.5 knots of tide of the Gulf Stream pulling on the line.
Yeah.
It was, South Florida would get a lot of current. So it was very problematic. But yes, we've hooked 2 on fly. Andy pulled the hook on his, and I caught mine. And then my pastor from the church missed one, and we had one other one that got missed that didn't eat the fly. So
wow,
it's been a quest of insanity, but
seems like
the
it.
black like the moon's right, the weather's right. I'm gonna go troll around the ocean all night and pray.
Yeah, pretty much.
Throw
Right?
darts at the wall and see if we get lucky.
Did you
And
say?
you do it enough, and you start learning little places and bottom pieces, and currents and tides and things that you put together, and moon times, and you start to build a portfolio of when and where your best chances are.
Right. Start to piece it all together.
Yeah, and that's like the walking on the moon fishery is swords on fly. There's like 3 guys in the world that have ever really put time into it.
Yeah, I think you might be the 3rd person that we've had on the show that has got them. I'm pretty sure Bouncer Smith has got a sword on the fly.
Bouncer, Martini, and Rostiki.
Yep, we had Martin Rostigi. Yep. Yep.
Bouncer caught one Martini, dredging in Miami, just drifting and dredging.
Yeah.
Dietmar caught the first one in the world, as far as I know, and ate it. It was a record on the poverty sucks. And then Bouncers got one. There was a guy in New Jersey that got one. And Roy, who is the IGFA president's got 8 now.
8?
Yeah, he's got 8 total over.
He's obsessed. You weren't kidding.
No, yeah. He's put in like 6 years and probably $1.5 million.
Oh my God.
Yeah, like he's flying to Africa to catch them, but he's caught 8 in the Atlantic off of his boat.
Wow.
And over 6 years. So he's then he'll fly around the whole world to get the all the other species in the world on fly. So he'll get the super royal grand slams on fly, and he has more of them than I think anybody in the world. The other guy that's really good is I'm having a brain fart. He fishes a lot with the guy in Kenya, and I think he's caught 10 swords on fly. And he had every line class division that was held at one point. I'm having a brain fart his name, but they're catching a lot of really, really rats in Kenya, and they're getting a lot of 10, 20 shots a trip.
Whoa.
But they're like, 15, 20 pounders. They're not, they don't get a lot of shots at big ones from what I understand.
So is this something you're going to try to do more of? You think you'll?
Yeah, why not? I mean, Jeremy Block's that guy. He's got 10. He's king shit in the world on sword on fly. But to my knowledge, all the fish that have been caught have been sub 59 pounds until mine.
Right.
But yeah, I was trying to build it. I mean, I spent God knows how much money. I mean, just the fly reels are a couple $1,000 a piece, and
I bet.
2 of those and some teaser rods and LPs and this and that's, and it's you blink and you got 12, 14,000 invested in equipment to do it with.
Yeah. Wow.
So yeah, because there's nobody that offers a service to charter a boat to go fish for them like that.
So, are you a charter captain full time? Is that your gig?
Yes,
Cool.
that's what I do.
How long have you been doing that for?
Well, I turned 52 Saturday, so I started when
Oh,
I
nice.
mean,
Happy birthday.
thank you. My legal charter business started when I was 18, but I was chartering as a kid in my skiff way before that. But when I was
Nice.
18, I got my license.
Wow. So you've probably seen a bunch of stuff, man. What's some of the craziest stuff you've seen out there? Most unpredictable, wild stuff. I always ask my guests about this.
Oh, man,
The charter captains usually have one or two really crazy stories for me.
the one fish that I'll never ever forget. That's probably, I mean, the sword was pretty epic, but the most impressive thing I've ever seen in the ocean was a blue marlin in Venezuela.
Yeah.
Um, that was just unfathomably big. Just you can't describe it big, like Loch Ness monster big.
Wow.
And it was it was a really impressive fish. Um, that's the one thing that I've seen in the ocean that you can't wrap your head around. It's the only fish I've ever seen that I couldn't speak. I was just like stuttering and throwing a pitch bait, and not like my brain and my voice were disconnected. Like, what is this
It's
thing?
crazy.
Yeah.
Oh man.
The funny thing was the boat next to me, who has Gary Carter, the owner, and he's a world record angler and caught most of the blue marlin light tackle world records. Came to Nova Scotia and he was fishing a 30-pound bluefin tuna world record with me. And I said, Gary, I said, yeah. I said, you don't remember me, but in '98 we were sitting in Venezuela on the bank together. And I said, and I raised a fish. He goes, that was you? And it was like he just got everything got quiet. And he goes, that was you? And I said, yeah. And I said, you go to Madeira, you go to the Azores, you fish your other boats all over the world, world record fishing. Have you ever seen another fish like that? And he's like, not even close.
Wow.
And I was like, the guy I was on, I was a kid, but the guy on my boat told me that he longlined for like 30 years. He goes, it would accord 1800. I go, what was that thing? What do you think it was? Because after we teased it in and hooked it on a TLD 15 with 20-pound leader, ate their short rigger bait when I was trying to tease it to a 50, my bigger pitch. Um, we hooked them on the 15 with 50-pound leader and 20-pound mainline and went roaring around on them. And the fish just scissored us off and swam over to his boat. And an 80 yellowfin he was catching. And it said it came up and like vacuum fed it like a grouper, just like popped its jaw and ate it. Didn't even like put effort into it. And he said that and he's one of the most experienced anglers in the world with tons of records. He said that it was the largest blue marlin he'd ever seen to date. And they estimated it between 18 and 2200 also.
Wow, that is
So
unbelievable.
yeah, it was like
What is the length
when
on something like that? Like 21 feet?
I was in a 50 Bertram and it was transom to transom, corner to corner when it came across the teasers. And there wasn't a ripple in the water. It was slick calm, which is very unusual for the place. And we got so bored of catching whites and marlin, white marlin and blue marlin and sails on the TLD 25s in the 90s. The boss wanted to use the 15s to make it more interesting. And then this turd shows up. I was like, holy shit.
Wow,
But yeah, there is still Loch Ness monsters swimming out there.
that's wild.
And
So,
they've registered them and caught them in places that weren't records and IDFA legal that were bigger than 1800. Like and Choi's monster in Hawaii was 18 something,
what was that
and
one?
I think they call it Choi's monster.
Uh huh.
It weighed one over 18 in Hawaii. Bart got the 1656 he's famous for, but Choi caught one at 1806 or 18 something, and
Whoa.
I mean they I talked to one guy, Chiefy, who's one of the best wiremen in the world, and he said he caught one on a longliner that they fought for 9 hours on the hydraulic spool. They thought they had a giant sword. And
Huh.
he got the thing up, and he said it was over $2,000. And he
Jesus.
fished the Azores, Madeira, and everywhere else, and they were pissed off thinking it was a sword and cut it off. But They exist out there, and I got a glimpse at one of them.
Over
So
$2,000.
yeah, the
Man,
legend of the Tunner.
that's
My mate
crazy.
just kept yelling "autobus, autobus" in Spanish. The legend of the autobus. I'm like, what is that? He goes, "Autobus, autobus." I guess
That's
it's the
crazy.
legendary fish down there.
Have you ever heard of this website, granderwatch.com?
Oh yeah, yeah,
It's pretty cool, right? I always ask guys that
yeah.
nobody's ever seen it. I think it's such a cool website.
Yeah.
Guys
I
been
mean,
tracking granders for like 15 years on there.
yeah, they track all the killed fish. They don't track the releases, but
Yeah, right. Of
there's
course. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
today's age. Most big fish aren't killed unless it's a record or something else. But they're a special creature to encounter.
Have you done a lot of fishing for marlin?
Yeah, it's 25 years with probably.
Wow.
We caught one in Shinnecock there that was ridiculously big. He was probably a grand or better
Where was it?
out of Shinnecock up in your neck of the
Oh,
woods.
really? When?
Uh, Probably like 96.
Oh, okay. A
Tuna
grander.
fishing out in the canyon and in the Hudson, I think we were in and caught on a freaking Zucker 3.5 head on a 50 wide. Thing was retarded big. I had all the big gear out there and a little 50 in the center rigger, a small lure, and the thing eats it. Fought it forever and caught this giant one we let go. But yeah, there's some big ones.
So you spent a lot of time offshore, huh?
I mean, in a prior life, I ran sport fishing boats and did summers in Montauk and then go to the
Oh,
Vineyard and
you
Pinnacle.
did.
And,
I didn't know that.
yeah,
Tell me about running boats in Montauk a little bit. Where were you going for? Stripers?
the boss on the Birchin that we were in Venezuela with, he lived in the Hamptons. So
Oh, okay.
we go to New York for the summer and be up there for 4th of July and then get out of there in the fall and or go bluefin fishing in Nantucket or the Vineyard or wherever and up to Hyannis and sit there till the snow started coming in the fronts and then push back south. And if we didn't do that, we did it, down to St. Thomas and Venezuela and that part of the world and the Caribbean tours. And I worked for him for like 6 years. And then when I was a mate, 6.5 years, and then I started running his boat. And then I moved up the ladder to run other boats and just traveling. And I always had an inshore business. And now I make most of my living tarpon fishing, but I still travel with clients and go to destinations and still do other stuff.
Very cool. Very cool. So you always had the charter business though the whole time?
Yeah, I mean, for a lot of years, I didn't really push it because I was busy with the private gig. But I think around '08, when the economy was slow and we quit traveling so much, I was running a private boat for a doctor, and I was just sitting there choking pilings, bored to death, and I couldn't fish enough. I had to start charter fishing again on my other boat at night just to keep my sanity to fish enough, and then to get the extra income. Because I mean, today I fished. We left the house at 5, and then 5:30 in the morning, just got home, and I wasn't getting paid today. But it's my day off, and I went fishing.
I love it. I love it. So
Yeah.
you're well known for releasing over 1,000 tarpon in a season. How do you make that happen over and over again?
Never quitting, never stopping, and fishing a lot. Most people just fish, their tarpon season in their area of the world that have tarpon for 6 weeks or 2 months or something. But if you have a place in Miami and you fish all winter there, and then in the spring you migrate to your other house in the Keys and fish the spring and the summer here, and then back to Miami in the fall, you follow the fish, and the longer you're in the fish, the longer you can catch the fish. So that is the first thing, is that it's not a hobby, it's a business. And you know then you add in the technology has gotten so commonplace these days, but in the beginning, when side imaging and Humminbird came out, and it was a hilarious joke for saltwater for his bass fishing equipment. I was the first guy to have that stuff, and the first guy to have the like the iPilot trolling motors and the side imaging, and I came up with other systems that I've developed. And when you're just ahead of the learning curve, you catch a lot of fish. And now it's there's so many videos and commonplace things and everything else that everybody's stepped up the game, and now there's live scope and all the rest of it. But it's you have to put in the time and travel with the fish to catch the fish.
Are you using live scope?
Not right now. I'm probably going to buy one in the next month or two, but I'm trying to figure out the best way to do it. And I'm actually looking at designing a mount for my boat because I don't like any ones on the market. They're kind of cheesy and freshwater and cumbersome.
Yeah, I've all the bass guys I talk to use it. Some guys use it more than others. I find that the older guys use it less. It seems to be like
Yeah.
the live scope is like a young man's game, from what I understand.
Well, I think that there's a lot of money involved in setting a boat up with proper electronics. And, the old dogs are kind of set in their ways and they've always done it a certain way and they don't want to learn new tricks and they don't want to, that you can't compete. I mean, look at saltwater. If you don't have an Omni, you're not winning a billfish tournament.
Yeah.
For blue marlin, and other things. I mean, you need to have, that's $150,000 sonar system.
That's no joke. Yeah.
But you need it. My old mate Jason brought it to the market and he won every tournament in the Gulf, won all the money for a long time until people started catching on the done deal. He smoked all their asses. He won the World Cup. He's won everything.
All because that piece of equipment.
All because he was the first guy to really figure out how to use that and put it to work. Kind of like I was one of the first saltwater guys to put the side imaging to tarpon. It just, if you're not at the back of the, what was that? Talladega Nights. If you ain't first, you're last.
Yeah, right.
So I always try to stay at the edge of the game.
So with the side imaging for tarpon, for our fans that aren't really familiar with that, what exactly is that? It shows the fish to the side of the boat, or
correct. Instead of the ice cream cone shining under the boat, it shines two ice cream cones to the sides of the boat. So
gotcha.
instead of looking directly underneath you, you can look to the sides of you. And with the 360 sonars, you can look 360 around you, kind of like a mini Omni. Then you can find fish in front of you or out to the sides of you. And when you learn how to use electronics effectively, it's a game changing situation. You can scan areas and know if there's a fish there. In the old days, we just pulled up to a spot and fished.
Right.
Sometimes you
if it
caught them,
looked good.
sometimes you don't. Because it looked good. Now, you look at the guy winning the tournaments in the marlin world. The best guys are not even fishing. They're dumping in a sonar and scanning and throwing out a few teasers and just hot trotting, and then scan a quarter-mile zone, suck everything up, run a quarter mile, dump everything in, dump the dredges and a couple teasers and scan and ping around, and then suck it up and run a quarter mile and dump it in and scan and ping around and run to the next fat or whatever. And they're not even deploying a live bait or they're not even deploying hooks.
Wow. I had no idea that was a.
Yeah, if you look at some of the stuff on TV that sport or the champ was it sport fishing championship, the guy winning, that's what they're doing. They're running fad to fad to fad and dumping into sonars in the Caribbean and scanning and just pulling some teasers and then suck it all up and run the next one a half mile away or quarter mile away and dump in and scan. They're not just out there trolling around. And when they get a mark, then they dump and deploy and catch and then go to the next one. And that's when you put hundreds of thousands of dollars in electronics, that you can do that.
Wow. It's not a poor man's game, that's for sure.
No, you can't compete. It's just evolution, like you said, in all the games. If you don't evolve, you go extinct.
Yep. Definitely. So when you're targeting tarpon on your trips, are you doing live bait? Are you throwing lures? What's your main way of targeting them?
The main way is live bait.
Live
Uh,
bait.
yeah, that's the standard method for attack. But the clients want to fly fish, we fly fish. They want to fish bait. They want to fish lures. Whatever they want to do, we do. Catch a lot of them on fly, catch a lot of them on bait, catch a few of them on lures.
I know that you say the tarpon should dictate the schedule. So does that mean that when you have a trip, are you recommending to them, hey, I think we should leave at 3 a.m. or we should be at the dock at this time?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's cool. So the clientele you're getting, they understand that there's a time that.
Yeah, I don't have a website.
Oh, okay, awesome.
For 30 years, I'm the restaurant that you got to track down and hear about it to get into it.
I fucking love it. It's
It's
badass.
not Google click ads. I'm not doing, with this booking and shit, whatever. Uh, the Groupon or the Fish Booker and all that stuff. So my clients know that if I say the tide's right at 2:30 in the morning to be at this location, they show up there with a smile on their face, like, all right, we're ready.
Oh, I love it.
That's not your weekend warrior.
So if someone wants to book with you, how far out do they have to book in advance?
Depends on the time of year.
Right. Right. Say I
Well,
wanted to link up with you in Miami. What's the best time of year
Miami,
for that?
really, in December it starts, January, February, March.
Okay.
And then I have my regulars. I got my sugar daddy that fishes 3 days a week. So he fishes every Tuesday, every Thursday, and every Sunday.
My sugar daddy.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
that's amazing. What a great client right
Yeah.
there.
He's a tarpon junkie. He's 3 days a week. 68-year-old little Jewish guy from fashion billionaire from New York.
Amazing.
From, yeah, Andrew Rosen. So he's big in the fashion world and like ridiculously big. Calvin Klein and Klein Rag and Bone Theory. He's got TWP, does Brady Brand. He's partnered with the Kardashians with Skims, the whole nine, and he's a tarpon fanatic.
And he loves his tarpon.
Every 3 nights a week. And I got my boy Brandon, who's a stock market guy from New York. He fishes on Wednesdays. So during the season, 6 months a year, they keep me fairly busy, and I take all the other clients around them.
That's great.
Yeah,
What a nice setup.
yeah.
Beautiful. So it's mainly
Uh,
tarpon. Do the snook get mixed in or?
yeah, we catch snook all the time. More this time of year in the summer when they're spawning, we go target the big ones, but you catch them year round. But primarily targeting them more in the summer months, not in the winter months, because when you can catch tarpon that could be 100 to 200 to 250, 280 or better, catching a 10 pound or 20 pound really big stuff, 30 pounder isn't as exciting. But in the summertime when those big ones are spawning, then that's kind of the game.
Top priority.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're eating filet mignon every day, you don't always want, cheeseburgers, but the time of year it's cheeseburger season, you go catch cheeseburgers.
Hey, listeners. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Brooklyn Fishing Club podcast. If you enjoy the show and want to rep your favorite show in style, check out our official merch shop. We've got everything from cozy hoodies to sleek jackets, graphic tees, and even backpacks perfect for your daily grind. Whether you're binging episodes or just want to elevate your streetwear game, our gear is made for comfort, style, and showing love for the BFC podcast. Plus, our gear is now shipping worldwide. Head over to brooklynfishingclub.com and grab your favorite one today. Thanks for supporting the show and looking great while doing it. Thanks, dude. So what made you get obsessed with tarpon out of all of them? It seems like you catch all types of fish. You've done the marlin thing. I've seen on your Instagram too that you do a lot of like bottom fishing. I saw you with a few nice snapper. But
Yeah, so
what is it about the tarpon that really got you?
again, I had a client that fishes with me from England. I guess he's been fishing me for about 28 years now. And he would come to town. I want to catch tarpon. I was like, all right, give me the money. We'll go catch tarpon. And then when I was in Venezuela for a couple seasons, I gave him to another guy. And then when I got back to town, he wanted to fish with me again. But then he would book me and the other guy. And he's like, well, he fishes for the big fish in the other spot. And you fish for those medium fish over here that are fun on light tackle. And I was like, all right, well, if I want to retain this guy as a client, I got to go try to target those bigger fish and figure them out. So I went out there a lot on my free time to figure those out. And I guess it's like when you're in, school and you get in a fight with a kid and you become best friends afterwards. It's just kind of the way things work out once you start, you know, dealing with them and you learn about them and they're so big and so badass. You can't not fall in love with them. And we don't have a marlin fisher in South Florida. We got sailfish, which are fun, but they're still gay. They only do something and they will flop around. They don't kick your ass. They run them down on light tackle and pop them off. But a tarpon is like an inshore blue marlin and a tuna mixed together. Like they get big, they're strong, they fight, they kick the shit out of people. And, once people experience that, they fall in love with them. And like I said, it's like that kid in the school you got to fight with and you become best friends. So it just kind of goes that way. They're probably scientifically one of the coolest fish on the planet, and they're very challenging and very powerful. So they can they check all the bills. They jump. They're big, you know, and you can catch them near shore. You don't need a giant sport fish. You can catch them in shallow water. You can catch them in the bay when it's rough out in the ocean. You're fishing the bay and it's calm. And you can catch fish almost to 300 pounds. So, like, it's pretty ridiculous.
Can't beat it.
Yeah.
Have you ever done any work with the Bonefish Tarpon Trust?
Oh yeah. Over the years, I used to we were doing these DNA swabs, like little scrubs, and you'd scrub the tarpon's cheek and send in the DNA for them, and then we'd pluck scales and send them in the scales so they could DNA them and things like that. So I've done that with them, and with the Rothenstein School in Miami, I've done the satellite tagging
Oh, very
and the
cool.
tracking and stuff like that. So I learned so much about the fish through them when I do seminars and stuff that, once you learn the scientific side of the tarpon, it's one of the literally the most advanced fish in the world. It's so far superior to every other fish that we target that it's just so impressive. It's like the Superman of the world. Like it looks like a human, but he flies and super strength and X-ray vision. That's scientifically kind of how tarpon is compared to other fish. They're very, very special.
If you could be more specific, what do you mean? In what ways exactly?
Well, a lot of the fish that we target in the world are newer generation fish. The tarpon come from the Devonian era, which was pre-Jurassic era. So they've been evolving since before dinosaurs for hundreds of millions of years. 14 different species have evolved into this species of a Megalopithecus atlanticus. Megaopticus, it's got the biggest eye in the Atlantic. Its vision is 5,000 times better than a human eye. There's nothing in the world that swims that they have studied that sees better than a tarpon. Its tarpon vision has rods and cones, so it can see in like thermal night vision and like infrared, black and white. It's
Wow.
like the predator monster that can switch from lenses to cones to rods and see like its color rainbows that like a dog whistle we can't hear. Our eyes can't perceive that vast color of rainbows. They get to be almost 100 years old. Like they breathe air from the surface and roll. No fish in the world in salt water can do that. If there's no oxygen, the fish in the water dies. Tarpon comes to the surface, breathes air, puts air in his bloodstream, and lives. If he tears a gill out and he starts bleeding to death, he shuts off the valve and his body going to it. It's just got this thick slime layer of protection from infection. The scales are armor plating. They're just evolutionary masters. They did a study proving they could facially recognize humans and tell us apart in one of the most studies in Tampa.
Really? That's
Yeah.
crazy. How the hell did they figure that out?
They had 3 big tanks and they filled them up with big tarpon, all sizes, and they went for 3 months, 2.5 months, whatever it was, and they fed each scientist, fed his tank. And then one time they introduced 2 scientists to the same tank, Daddy plus the new guy, and they'd walk around opposite ends of the tank and feed them, and every fish in that tank went to Daddy and not to the new guy. And when it went to the next tank where it was the other guy was Daddy and the other guy was the new guy, every fish went over to that guy at one end and not the other guy at the other end.
What?
And there were buckets of food, and in all 3 tanks they had the same results, that the fish would only come to the guy that they trusted, proving they could facially recognize people and they know the difference between the humans and who they trusted to feed them.
That's amazing. That
Yeah,
is wild.
there's a lot of studies they've done. They're pretty incredible creatures.
So they're very, very smart fish.
I don't think they're smart. I think that they have the ability to retain things, and they're so tuned in. Like if you see a flock of birds flying and one bird turns and the whole flock turns at the same time, it's kind of like that. Like they're so they can be. I mean, sometimes they can be dumb and eating their faces off in dirty water, but in clear water or something, if you hook an alpha, the big fish in the group that's the ringleader, and that fish shakes its head and like puts out a distress vibe, the whole school will scatter and just push away. Or if not even hooked to catch the fish, just jump them once, or have it close its lips and sting them and chase the leader, and rod bends over for a second and you don't catch him, you can watch him sink out and disappear, and he'll move the whole group of fish.
Wow.
Or she will. Like they just have that. Like I tell my clients, I sent the email, and once the word's out, like the vibe's over, you got to go, because it's going to take an hour for those fish to settle back in to get another bite out of them a lot of times.
Oh man, that's tough. Definitely adds to the grind.
And yeah, and of course, more pressure, less food, more sharks, more headaches, more competition. So it's definitely every year you got to stay at the edge of the game and come up with new tricks.
I hear a lot of people talk about the sharks. Do you feel like that's become more of a problem over the past few years?
It's the understatement of the year. It's in all venues. I mean, today I was on the flats and my buddy with me is like, man, I heard what you were telling me before, but I never saw it. We caught a redfish, let it go, and it sat under the boat, let it sit there. I go, don't move the boat. Let's just let the fish recover here, and not like bringing it in the boat, not holding it, not taking pictures with it. Like pull it up, dehook it, let it go in the water. And we moved the boat 20, 30 feet and look behind us. There's a huge swirl and the water turns red and there's a lemon shark eating them. And I mean, there is an infestation of sharks. That structures and wrecks that you fish are unfishable.
Really?
It is, yeah, from bottom fish to surface and sailfish tournaments in Palm Beach. You're sitting there with a kite up and you're just looking over the side, and there's wolf packs of giant bulls just circling. You go on the flats and there's wolf packs of lemons circling. You go to every wreck and there's wolf packs. I mean, I tell you, if it's legal, depending on the species, like the bulls, kill every one of them. It's like a mosquito in the Everglades. There's millions of them swarming. People say they're endangered. Like my buddy today, he's like joking, going, these people think these things are endangered. And you're in literally 8 inches of water looking at tailing redfish, and there's just lemon sharks with their backs and fins out of the water circling the boat all day long. Just tons of them.
Nonstop.
Yeah. There's
crazy.
No shortage of sharks. And
So what do you think the
Tom, how
solution
many
is?
sharks did you see today? Like uncountable amounts. Just there's just no end to the.
No such thing as sharks are endangered.
It's just,
Man.
they used to long line them and kind of have checks and balances, and they've definitely got out of balance now with nature. They're swarming.
Yeah, it seems crazy. Even the guy I was talking to before you, does a lot of fishing, striped bass fishing up in the Northeast, and even up there, they're getting a ton of sharks. They're everywhere. And
Every place in the world and every fishery that I know of, they're swarming. I mean,
yeah,
some places in the Pacific, like around Costa Rica and some of those areas aren't too bad down there in Panama and Colombia on the Pacific side, but they're starting to get sharks there. But that's like one zone that seems to be less, but other zones are just mind-blowingly heavy with sharks.
I don't know. I don't know what the solution is. It's like you mentioned, there used to be checks and balances for dealing with them, but
Well, they used to have shark guys longlining them and
Yeah.
catching them and selling the sharks, and they're not doing that anymore. And they're targeting everything else. And I don't know. I don't know what's happened in the world, but the Caribbean, the Bahamas, the everywhere in the world is just, it's unbelievable. I mean, it's like my buddy said to me today. I told him, I said, if you go here to kayak and you fall in here in one of these channels, I mean, you saw the video. I'm sure the guy washing his hand in the Everglades, and the shark grabs his hand and rips him out of the boat, and he just tries to put it in to rinse his hand off.
Yep, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where we're fishing back there, and he goes, really? And I take the rod tip and I slap it on the water, and a shark comes racing at the boat, and he's like circling, trying to bite the rod tip, and I'm like, see, it's not a joke.
That is crazy, bro.
Yeah.
That is crazy. Do you
Lemon sharks are protected, so you can't sit there
even
and murk
touch
them
them?
all.
Yeah.
Yeah, and bulls you can murk, but you can't dispatch the lemons, especially in a park.
Especially in a park. Do you lose a lot of tarpon to sharks?
No,
Not really.
I'm very fortunate that I don't.
That's good.
Certain places are bad with sharks, and I don't fish those places if the sharks are bad. And then the places that we do fish that have sharks, it's a very old and tried and true method that when someone kills a bull shark and they tie it to a piling or anchor it down at that location, you'll have no sharks in that area for 2 weeks.
Really? I never heard that one.
Yeah, until
That's
their
pretty
tail
crazy.
rots and falls off. In the old days in the war, like World War II, the fighter pilots had shark repellent. It was made from boiled sharks.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's
No
what the
idea.
military did. They boiled sharks in that rotten, nasty smell. Sharks don't like the smell of dead, rotten shark.
Hmm.
And if you take a shark and just like commercial guys that'll go bottom fishing and commercial grouper snapper fishing will kill a shark and throw it on deck and let it cook in the sun all day and throw it on their anchor when they go sit at a spot, no sharks will come and eat their fish.
Wow. Very cool.
And if you tie one to a piling or a bridge or anchor it in an area, unless a tiger comes and eats him or something, then generally he's going to sit there and rot for 2 weeks till the tail falls off. And no other sharks come bother you.
That's why you don't lose any tarpon, because you've been doing that trick secretly the whole time. You've been dragging
I don't know
that
what they're
shark
talking
behind
about,
you.
but there's areas that have less sharks than others.
Oh man. So, any close calls with the weather? You spend all this time out there. You ever been trapped out there in a crazy storm? Any close calls with death?
Part of the game. You know, what do they say? There's old captains and brave captains, but there's no old brave captains. Yeah, man.
I want to hear about a couple of the close calls.
Oh, man. I don't know. Yeah, I've been kind of struck by lightning twice.
Kinda.
Well, I mean, the lightning hit close enough that it damaged my eardrums, and you lose your vision. It's like a flashbang, but
Jesus.
even in the daytime, but it'll blow out your eardrums, but not to where it strikes you, to where it kills you or fries you.
Wow.
But I've had that happen twice at sea. I've taken some rogue waves that you don't really know what a rogue wave is till you get hit by one and you're like, oh, that was a rogue wave.
Yeah.
Um, I've experienced 3 rogue waves in my life, and
Jeez, 3?
yeah.
Head on
And,
from the side? Which way did they hit you?
that Bertram that we took to New York, we were in the Bahamas, and in both times, 2 was in one day. They were in conditions that were extremely sloppy to start with, and they had a tropical storm or hurricane passing, producing that kind of wave. And we were sitting in the Bahamas in Rum Key, and the boss was like, "I want to go to San Sal. I got a better place to hang out in a Club Med if we're not going to fish." And I was the mate. We were trolling over there, and I heard the boat power up, and I looked over the bow, and we had a full tower, and there was seaweed in the tower after that wave hit. Filled the whole cockpit with water and broke over the bridge, over the isinglass where the radar was. I just felt the boat going up, and it was just a really big wave. And we made it about halfway up before it broke. And then my boss was like, "All right, never mind, let's go back to rum." So we turned back to rum tea. But I know that the time that I was a captain and I got hit with 2 of them, the same day those 2 rogue waves hit a cruise ship next to me and killed several people and blew out the windows in it.
Wow.
I believe that was the same wave that hit me, and it was weather I shouldn't have been in. Of course, it was sustaining 40
Whoa.
out of the north, and it was 18-foot seas on the VHF, sustaining 40, gusting higher, and I left the Bahamas and came back because the owner said the boat had to be back. He had to have it back to the dock, and I was just trying to not to get fired and keep the boss happy. And I figured it was a beam sea leaving the Bahamas, and I had a north wind, so I'd be more in the trough. And 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 I, the forecast was 14 to 18 foot, like 16 foot. And I forget how many seconds in between was the standard set. And we were making 14 knots and just kind of trugging in the trough. And 2 waves came that picked up a 54 Hatteras and threw it and set me down 180 degrees from the direction I was going. And I had to power around like a surfboard and turn and come down the face of the wave with 3,000 horsepower. And it was like flicking a bug on the wall. The energy when it hit me was just, I'm doing 14 knots and heading and out the wave, and I start climbing it, and it just picked me up and threw me and set me down heading southeast, and I was heading northwest. It was just unbelievably powerful. Like, you think that with 3,000 horsepower, you could power up a wave in a boat that does 40 knots, you could have some kind of control, and you got nothing. Mother Nature just pin slaps you and sends you flying. You're like, oh my God.
Holy shit.
But I don't know. I mean,
That's so crazy.
you could hear it coming, because you had so much water on the isinglass, and you just heard it. You just look up and you hear it. You're like, holy fuck, I can hear the wave coming. You're climbing it and looking up, and then it's starting to break, and you're looking up, and you're like, it's taller than my tower, and that's, fucking 40 feet.
Jesus.
That's like hit you and just send you, and you're just like, okay. Oh,
Oh my gosh.
that
All
was,
all you can do is pray to God at that point. I mean,
it was just a set, it just teaches you that when you have a tropical cyclone passing and like a lot of those ships that get broken in half, they're 3, 4, 500 feet long, and they're not designed to be suspended in the air.
Yeah.
And those rogue waves hit them, and the ones that they've measured at 80 feet, 100 feet high, that hit oil rigs and stuff, and when that 300, 400 foot long boat gets lifted up a wave, all of a sudden half of it's suspended in the air, and the boat breaks in half because it's got 200 feet of boat floating in the air and climbing a wave. It's not in the water, and that's when they get busted up and sink from rogue waves. So they figured that out, but looked at the weather pattern, and then there's cyclones around, that they produce this kind of an animal that if you meet it, you ain't gonna forget it.
Yeah, if you're lucky to make it through. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. Do you have any
Yeah, we didn't have
superstitions?
any damages. We got really lucky. We didn't have any damages, so we
Wow.
just.
It's a
But I think my
well-made
water
boat.
spout. Yeah, the 54 hatters we rode pretty good, but we weren't going. We weren't going fast. It just bitch slapped us and spun us and had us down, and
It's crazy. It's
life.
Do you have any superstitions?
No,
None?
not really. No,
You don't believe in the banana thing at all?
nah, it's stupidity. Caught thousands of fish with people eating bananas all over the boat.
Love it. Love it. Very cool. Very cool. Any advice you would give to up and coming charter guys?
Don't do it. It's a terrible business.
Don't do
Falling apart. Go to school. Less skin cancer. Go get a job and go charter people because you'll be rich instead of being a dumbass fisherman.
Oh man.
You better love it, because if you don't, it's the wrong job for you. You better go fishing on your days off, because if it's a job, you'll never be good at it.
Do you fish every single day of the year?
No, of course not. I wish I could, but you can't. Life doesn't let you fish every day. You got weather and other stuff, but
Every day you can be out there though. You're out there.
yeah.
That's awesome. So you got a trip tomorrow?
No, I'm going by myself tomorrow.
Oh hell yeah. What bucket list fish are you gonna knock out tomorrow?
Nah, I'm just gonna go do some exploring tomorrow back in the Everglades. I have a charter Friday. I canceled my charter for tomorrow because it's mini season and the lobster heads are just destroying and making a mess of everything. I told my client, no, I'm not taking it tomorrow. It's a shit show for mini lobster season. They go, oh my God, we forgot it was mini lobster. I said, yeah, we're going to go Friday instead. They said, okay, good idea.
Gotcha. You ever do any fishing for peacock bass?
And I do charters for peacock bass, yeah.
That's awesome, man. I love those fish.
I have a private lake in Miami. We crush them at. Had a client out with his 4-year-old kid yesterday.
Uh-huh. What's the secret to them? You use shiners for them?
That's the secret. Live shiners.
Live shiners. That's what I use too. It's obviously what
I usually
everybody uses, but
I mean, in the
they're
wintertime,
fun.
on a slow day in the winter, you'll catch 25, 30, but normally we'll catch 50, 60 bass in a 4-hour trip.
Cool. You got the clown knife fish too? Snakeheads, all that?
No, not in the lake I fish. Just largemouth and peacocks, really, and cichlids.
Nice. Very cool.
I don't go and do all the other stuff that everybody else does. I have one lake I go to, and it's infested with bass, and it's a private lake. It's a pontoon boat. Life is easy. Tons of
Beautiful.
fish, and everybody's happy, and it's just easy living. You're not going 100 miles an hour to the Everglades and throwing lures at lily pads. Just cruise on, sight fish them all the shorelines, and just throw shiners at them and crush them all day long, and go back. It's easy as it gets, especially for kids. It's crystal clear water, no alligators. You can swim in a lake and ski in it. It's a deep quarry lake, and it's beautiful.
So how do you know my buddy Peter Miller?
No, Pete, we've been friends for a long time.
Yeah, He's the man.
We've done quite a few shows together.
Cool.
The last one we did, I started trying to develop ways to catch swordfish that wasn't gay, and we charge about to charging people $3,000 to push a button and say, "Here's your fish, sir."
Yeah.
And so I started doing hand cranking swords with 20 and 30 pound test in the daytime a couple of years ago, and I told Pete about it. That was the last show we did. We went and caught Pete a hand crank sword on 20. And then I don't know, caught 8 or 9 swords last season doing that, playing around. I wasn't going out at night, targeting them on fly. And we've done, I don't know, we did a bass show, we did swordfish show, we did 3 tarpon shows. So I've helped them with other shoots.
That's cool. Yeah, I've interviewed a few people from his Get Lit fishing team. I've interviewed Ray Rocher. I interviewed Froggy. Only other guy who's not interested.
All the gangsters. Yeah,
I got the whole gang. Yeah, almost, except for Kit.
They're all gangsters. Yeah. Yeah, the show we did where we got Ray, we got Peter the Swordfish with me and Ray on the boat. Ray was driving, and that was kind of a reunited because they hadn't fished together in a lot of years. So that was special for them, old friends getting to hang out again. But
yeah, they're great. They're great.
Ray's people. A legend, man. Pete's great. Ray's a legend. Froggy's a gangster.
Yeah.
Quentin Cutting Edge, Nick Moran, the gangsters. So all those guys
Definitely.
are just epic.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm glad he put us in touch. Normally I have a little bit more pep in my step, but I think this was a great interview. I think we crushed it, man.
I do like it. Awesome. Anything else, or have a great night.
We're gonna wrap it on that note, buddy.
Take it easy, bud.
All right, man. You have a good night. Thanks again for your time.
Thank you.
Have a good
Don't
one.
you walk on me.